Hi there and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Richard and this is going to be a ground school video, one of many, and this is going to cover the Garmin 430 radios and what you can do with it. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is this is what the radio looks like. I always, if you see my arrow here, if you click here on and off, it pops up over here, which makes it a whole lot easier to read. Okay, so we're going to talk about the radio portion of this today, which is this. We'll talk later about the GPS portion. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is where do you get all the information that you need? Okay, so this is the place I like to use. This is the FAA website, Airport Data and Information Portal. Okay, and if you type in a identifier, in this case I'm going to use the airport identifier for the Grand Strand, which is KCRE, and it pops up CRE Grand Strand. Okay, so what this is all the information that the FAA has about the airport. And I'm not going to go through all of this today. Later we'll go into additional ones, but there's two things I want to cover. The communication it gives you the tower frequency, the ground frequency, clearance delivery, the ATIS, which we will use today, Unicom, and CTAF is the frequency used for communication between two airplanes in the air. Notice that it's the same as the tower frequency, okay? And the other thing I want to show you is how you get charts. Okay, so these are all of the charts related to the Grand Strand Airport. And I'm going to pick the ILS one here, okay? And so there you see the ILS Grand Strand one. And so we've got that. And so we're done with this. We've downloaded the ILS chart, and I'll show it to you right here. Okay, and let me go back to where the chart is right there. Okay, so here's the chart for flying the ILS. We're not flying an ILS today, but I'm just showing you the information that you need to plan and get ready to fly. So the first is the ATIS frequency up here, and you'll see down here it is the standby frequency over here, and I'll go into that in a minute. Okay, and let me bring it back. Okay, so that's the ATIS, and the tower frequency is there, and the ground control is there, and also importantly is the elevation. So our elevation is 31 feet above sea level, mean sea level. Okay, so that's what we're going to need. The next thing I want to do is bring this up, and the active frequency is right here, the one in bright white, and this is the standby frequency. And so the same is true of this. This is the VOR. Actually, that's not the VOR. Anyways, that's the ILS, and that's soon to be the VOR in another video. Okay, so if you click on this, it swaps these two frequencies, so it swaps them in and out. Okay, so I'm going to hit that, and we're
Strand information Delta 1500 Zulu weather. Wind 160 at 5. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 2600. Few. Temperature 29. Dew point 23. Altimeter 3021. Arriving runway 23. Departing runway 23. Advise on initial contact. You have Delta.
Okay, so now we're going to turn that back off. So that's the weather briefing that you need just before you take off. I'll repeat what he said. Time was 1500 Zulu. The winds were 160 at 5. Visibility is more than 10. The clouds were 2600 few. The temperature was 29 in Celsius. The dew point 23 in Celsius. The altimeter is 3021, which is very important in just a second here. Takeoff and departure and arrival are the same, runway 25, and this was report Delta. So when you call the tower, you tell them that you have Delta. Okay, so now that's the tower frequency. We just saw the ATIS frequency. You enter frequencies down here. If I want to, in fact, I do want to change something here. I'm going to push in the center of this push right down here in the lower left corner. Okay, and that activates this window. If I push it again, it activates that window. I'll push it again, activate this window, and the outer ring changes the big number. The inner ring changes the little number. Okay, and so I'm going to change this down to 114, and I'm going to change this one, down to 114.4. Now, how did I know it was 114.4? Well, I'll show you. Okay, we'll go over to here, and you can see that the localizer is 117.7, but the VOR is 114.4, and I want the VOR frequency. So the VOR frequency, 114.4, and an outbound heading is 054 if you're going to fly along the runway heading. Now, one last thing here, we'll go back in here. And so we got 114.4. I will activate that. This was the ILS frequency. I'm going to activate the VOR frequency, and I'm going to push this, and so that now becomes the VOR frequency. Okay, if I look at the wait a minute, radio stack here, I can get rid of this, and you can listen to the nav and verify it's right. Don't know why it's not saying anything yet. Let me go back to here. Okay, so the Grand Strand VOR 114.4, that is 114.4, and I'm not hearing anything. I don't know why. Maybe I'm too close because we're only a short distance away from it. I suspect we'll get that later if we want. I'm going to turn the nav frequency off here. Okay, so now we've got our weather. Oh, the one last thing we have to do here is we want to fly an outbound heading to our next destination, which is we're going to go back to that Odell Airport, and you can use your arrow here, but I also have keys for this. So I want to fly the radial 075. Okay, so radial 075 will take us away, which means it's a radial. A bearing is to the VOR, a radial is from the VOR. So when we take off, we'll be on 075, and we'll fly that outbound to get to the Odell Williamson Airport. Okay, so we've heard the radio, heard the weather radio, and we set our VOR. All right, that's the end of this video for your ground school. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.